correct answer. And so for all of the emphatic stress, you look for the word that is highlighted, the word written in uppercase. You go to the option. Whatever option where that word does not repeat itself, such option is the correct one. And so that will take us finally to the consonant sound, where we're going to take two examples. Okay, let's take two examples here. Okay, we have both the consonant here and the vowel sound. That's the last segment. We have the word example, sorry, the sound because we are looking for the word where this sound is presented. Okay, and so we have, this is this word is pronounced derelict, this is fairly, this is haphazard, this is impulse, this is verse, this is what verse, hence this is the answer. That is the much we can take for oral English this morning. We've been able to take care of questions under vowel sounds, questions under consonant sound, questions under word stress, questions under emphatic stress, and finally questions under both the combination of the vowel sound and the consonant sound. These are exactly what you're supposed to know. And now don't forget, the next time we shall meet here, we'll be taking care of the other part of the composition. That's, of course, perhaps the summary. So that's going to wrap up all we have for the past question paper segment of this program. It's now time for us to focus on section A of the past question papers. I'm sure you still remember that this section so far has been taking care of past question papers over the years. We have hitherto taken care of questions from comprehension. We have equally taken care of questions from oral English language. And today the focus will be on continuous writing, lexis and structure, summary, and probably registers. But first, we shall be starting with continuous writing, and that is about 50 marks. We're looking into continuous writing because we're interested in these 50 marks. And the first thing you do as always is to read the instruction, and the instruction says you are required to answer only one question from this section. Your answer should not be less than 450 words. All questions carry equal marks. You are advised to spend about 40 minutes on this section. So you have 4 questions here, and you're supposed to pick one question from them. The first question says, write a story that best illustrates the saying, honesty is the best policy. Now this is a narrative essay, as you would have guessed. Now what do you do here? You were expected to carve out what should be a title for this essay. Remember, essays are supposed to be titled. Now we have the narrative essay, we have argumentative essay, we have expository essay, okay, and we have about 4 types of essay: the narrative essay, the expositive essay, the descriptive essay. And of course, this particular essay is what we refer to as a narrative essay. What do you do with narrative essays? You tell stories. Those stories may not be stories that happens to you or someone you know. They are fabricated stories, concocted stories that are probable, credible stories. They are not supposed to be stories that are out of the world, but they should be stories that are believable. Okay, now this one says we should answer questions concerning honesty is the best policy. And this is a saying. So we're supposed to cover the story that would prove that will illustrate the saying, honesty is the best policy. So the first thing you cover out what we refer to as a topic. So what should be the topic now? Let us assume that this is the topic. Honesty is the best policy. So if it is like this, okay, is supposed to be in uppercase because it is a verb. Okay, this is not a lexical. Okay, it's a verb. So for the verbs, nouns, adjectives are supposed to be written in upper cases. Okay, that's what policy. It's a noun. Best is an adjective. This is a primary auxiliary verb, and of course, honesty. It's a noun. Okay, so if it is like this, you do what? You underline. But if you want to write all of them in upper cases, in which case you're going to have something like this: honesty is the best policy. If it happens like this, you don't need to underline. Now the first thing you do is answer the question, what is honesty? First of all, form a background against which you begin to write. Okay? The first thing is to define what honesty is. Excuse me? Honesty has got to do with the quality of always telling the truth. So you are expected to craft a story about a young man or a young woman who succeeded in life, probably because he is always known to tell the truth, who perhaps has always been known to be a very poor fellow, someone who has never achieved anything in life, but someone who people have always known as someone who tells the truth, no matter whose ox is God by so doing. And eventually this person gets to succeed because of this policy of his to do what? To tell the truth. If you have done that, remember, you are not expected to sign. You are simply expected to write your name and where you are writing from. You could write James Ofosu, SS3 student. That should be how you end an essay like this. You're not expected to write yours faithfully, since you are not addressing anybody in particular. It is addressed to the wider public, whoever cares to read. I'm sure I have taken care of that question, in case you decide to go for a narrative essay. The next question says, write an article suitable for publication in a national newspaper on the benefits of inter-school sports competition. For a publication like this, this is more like an essay because it has to be titled. Okay, you have to title it. Of course, you follow the same pattern. It's either you write everything in uppercase and you don't underline, or you write the content words, adjectives, verbs, okay, nouns and adverbs. You write them in upper cases. That's initial upper cases, and of course you underline. And for a publication like this, you are not equally expected to sign at the end of the day or to say yours faithfully, because you've not addressed any person in particular. So write an article suitable for publication in a national newspaper on the benefits of inter-school competition. So it could be the importance of inter-school competition. You form a background for your study. What do you mean by inter-school competition? At the end of that, you start with the benefit. Each paragraph should carry a benefit. You don't want to lump. Let us assume you want to discuss 3 benefits of inter-school sports competition, which means, for one, we could say that inter-school competition brings about cohesion in the society. It brings about unity. This issue of unity, you would have to discuss it in one paragraph. If there are other issues too, other benefits of inter-school competition, you discuss it in the next paragraph. You could discuss 3 benefits of inter-school competition, and for each benefit you discuss, you take a paragraph. For each benefit, you take a paragraph. The last paragraph will now be a summary of the 3 benefits of inter-school competition, and of course your conclusion. The next question is, your uncle is about to marry another wife. Write a letter advising him on the implications of the decision, especially in view of the economic situation in the country. Now, this is an informal letter. Of course, you know that an informal letter would demand, of course, that you write your address. On the top right-hand side of your answer booklet, you could decide to write the block form of address, like Number 4, Ojo Road, Ibadan. 11th June 2016. Comma, 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 full stop. If the letter were to be leaving the shores of Nigeria, okay, after Ibadan, you write Nigeria. Okay? After Ibadan, you write Nigeria and put a full stop. But since the letter is within the country, you do not need to write Nigeria. So, number 4, Ojo Road, Ibadan 11. And don't forget that your TH has got to be on the same horizontal level with the 11, okay? And for a month like June, for a month like this, you don't need to abbreviate, okay? For a month like June, you don't need to abbreviate, okay? But you can say June 11, comma, you don't say June 11th. June 11, comma, 2016. The comma is meant to separate the day from the year, and you put a full stop. I'm sure that is clear to you. And that's for the Adichie. You have 5 marks here, and so you got to be careful with that. So if you were to abbreviate some months like December, the month of December, you